Hi, everybody. My name is Brian Huff. Welcome back to Huff Photo Studios. And we're just hanging out here working on a few things. We're going to start a project to actually bring you guys a little bit of behind the scenes of us shooting on the new cyc wall and also working with some new equipment. I actually picked up the Flashpoint Nano remote. This is the R2 Nano remote. Of course, it's for my Nikon camera. They make these for all the different cameras and stuff. The thing about this remote that I've only shot with it once, but immediately I was struck with how quickly I was able to just run with it. Now, when it comes to me actually shooting, the more I have to think about a piece of equipment, the more likely it is that piece of equipment's going to go away. I'm going to get rid of it. I don't want to have to stop and think about equipment while I'm working. It messes up my creative process. I think it interferes with the flow of everything. If you suddenly have to go, wait, hang on, let me fix this, let me adjust this. Now, of course, you're going to have to make adjustments while you're working here and there. That's inevitable. But if it's a gear situation where a particular maybe lens or camera body, you've got something that every time you're working, you know it's going to slow you down, that thing needs to go. So I was very on the fence about upgrading my flash trigger, because the flash trigger that I've worked with, it's been pretty good. Not really had an issue with it. The one thing I didn't like was it had AA batteries. I hate having to have AA batteries on hand. On the flip side of that, if one goes dead, AA batteries, pretty easy to get a hold of. This thing, that was the only thing I was really concerned about. Internal battery, rechargeable. How long is this thing really going to last? So we shot for about 2 hours, and I shot flash the entire time. I was running a 5-light setup. Never really saw the battery go down that much. That isn't to say it didn't, because the battery sensor on this or the battery meter on this screen, kind of small and doesn't really step down. I tell you one thing to be super cool, and let me make sure they don't actually have something like this before I say it. No. It would be really cool to have a Bluetooth app to link to this device from my phone so that I could mainly see where's my battery at, especially if I'm on the go. Cool thing is it recharges on USB-C. So if we're going location to location, I have a USB-C charger in my car. I can plug that thing up while we're going from spot to spot and just recharge it. Now, that being said, when we were finished with about a 2-hour shoot yesterday running a 5-light setup, I didn't notice the battery come off full mark. I plugged it into the charger. It charged for 20, 30 minutes. It was back to full again. So, I don't know. It may take a lot to actually kill one of these things. On another point, something that I was impressed by, this little case, this little hard case that it came with. Soft inside and everything. Oh, note also, pulling out this from the box, the first thing I did was peel off the plastic and put a glass screen protector on it. Make sure you get a glass screen protector. I don't know about you. I'm always banging into stuff. That being said, too, I'm also having to just throw things in my bag. So now I just throw that in my bag. I don't have to worry about it. Other one didn't have a case. I don't know if you can hear sirens going by. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm actually impressed with this little case that it came with. Also, I caught mine on Cyber Monday deal. I think it was like $49. This is not sponsored. I bought this with my own money. They are not paying me. However, there is an affiliate link in the description of the video below. If you click on the affiliate link and buy something, we will get a little bit of money here to help support the channel. So we appreciate that if you do click those links below. And while you're at it, click the subscribe button, the bell icon, and the thumbs up. and help us keep making this content, because we just went over, I know we're over 1,100 subscribers all of a sudden. Thank you guys. Wow. That just seemed to happen overnight. I've had this channel for 17 years and we've sat at 400 forever. And then all of a sudden, boom. So I guess we've hit on something you guys are interested in. So thank you so much. And if you're interested in more stuff, hit it in the comments. I know I said I wouldn't do gear reviews anymore, and this is kind of a review, kind of not. I just wanted to talk about this thing because this little trigger was really easy for me to just run with, and that struck me as important. It's something that's not normal when you change a piece of equipment out. I mean, there was no learning curve. Now, there's also some features in it that I was not quite 100% sure on how to use. You have the A, B, C, D, E groups, and then it looks like you have 1 through 10 numbered groups. So that's not something I've seen in any of my flashes. Hoping that's maybe something that's coming down the pipe in some kind of update, or it's probably something I've misunderstood. Once again, tell me in the comments, because I'd love to know what that's all about. Haven't had a chance to look it up. If you haven't figured it out yet, not much for reading instruction manuals. So I really like for a piece of equipment to sort of find its way into my workflow organically and become something that I just use and don't think about. So that was another thing. The X Pro trigger that I was using, I wasn't super happy with it, but the X1 or the X2 that came out before that, the little square boxy one, not a big fan of that one, just because I had the screen was so tiny. I had to scroll through. The touch on this thing, the touch on the screen on this little thing is incredibly intuitive, incredibly well designed to pick up exactly where your finger's at and which motions you're doing. Phenomenal. There's plenty of videos here on YouTube to tell you how to use the trigger, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't need any kind of real instruction with this. It really was so simple to tap and scroll through and go. I think we're all so used to touchscreen now with phones. Even this camera I'm talking to you on now has a touchscreen. So I think we're all pretty much used to the gestures and things that make things operate. And that was another thing that just made this thing really easy to use. Another thing that I liked, the screen on it is really, really bright. So I shoot in a lot of low light situations. So being able to see the top of this screen and clearly know exactly what light in what group is at what power is awesome. And I'm not the greatest vision. I don't have the greatest vision, so being able to glance down and easily read this thing and not go, where's the thing? Another bonus. It was very easy to read. Okay, so this is the trigger we are talking about, all right? This is where, almost dropped it. This is where I started the X2. Bulky, double A's, really small screen. Hot shoe on the top, kind of cool. It worked, still works. Great backup. Going forward then to the Godox X trigger, X Pro for the Nikon. Larger screen, right? Backlit, pretty easy to read, quick and easy to go through. So I wasn't too up on replacing this. But at the same time, this twist lock thing that you twist it onto the hot shoe of the camera, I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm not really good at getting it into place. Also, on this old one, you had the twist lock. Not bad, but still was a little wonky. This new improved trigger, another thing that they've done, slide it on. Barely hear it click. It is on there. And when this thing comes on, it's nice and bright. It's really easy to see, easy to read, easy to thumb through to get to where I'm going, doing what I got to do. Pause, let the lights off. There we go. And I love that when I go back and turn these lights on, they remember the power setting I last had them at. That's amazing. So there's so many amazing little things. Like I said, there's tons of instructional videos on how to use this. I'm not going to bog this video down with all those details. I just really felt impelled to stop and talk about this little piece of gear because it had so many nifty little pros to it. And it fits right here in this little joker, so I can just throw it in my bag. No worries. I take care of my equipment, but I use it. So it's got to be able to withstand a lot of use. That being said, you can't even tell. You know what? I'm proud of myself. I did so good. You cannot tell that I have the glass protector on this thing. No bubbles, no anything. The way that was designed, it had a tab on the top and a tab on the bottom. And you were able to just line it up perfectly and drop it on, and it just like magic as the air went out of that thing. So I am super excited that that's protected with a little tempered glass shield. I don't know about you guys. Like I said, I'm clumsy. I'm going to be banging into stuff. I'm running around shooting outside, inside. In the studio, I'm a little bit more controlled. No, I'm not. Nah. I get excited. My adrenaline kicks in. You know, there's something about photography that I'm passionate about it. So when I start working, everything else kind of goes away. You get into this mode where it's almost like tunnel vision, where you're so focused on what you're working on and what's happening and how your client's responding, and you get into this flow, and the next thing you know, it's been 2 hours and you have no idea what happened. So that's me anyway. And that's why I know that when it comes to photography, it's got to be the thing that I do forever. So, but anyway, just a really neat piece of gear. Caught it at a good deal. So watch out for sales. The R2 Nano. This, of course, is the Nikon version. And I've just clipped it here on the this is my Z5 body, so a little backup Z5. Not a bad little camera. Probably going to sell it though. I love my Z6 and my Z7. It's what I shoot with in the studio. I've got another video on that though, so you guys can battle of the Z cameras. Even after 2024, shooting on everything, that video is still going to pretty much hold true. So, not looking to change or upgrade any cameras anytime soon. So, who can afford to? Man, everything's so high. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about the R2 Nano trigger. We're going to do a photo shoot tomorrow. Probably going to do a tutorial here in the studio. Got some other pieces of kit that I picked up on sale. And if you hadn't noticed a theme, yes, I watch out for sales because I like to save money almost as much as I like making photos. So let me know in the comments. Do you shoot flash? Do you use wireless? Do you shoot on camera? I actually ventured back to on-camera flash here recently and found round-headed flashes are a different animal. And I really, really like the pattern of light that they put out and don't understand why it's so completely different from a rectangled flash head. Because I'm not a physicist. But anyway, kind of have to be a physicist when you're a photographer. It's all about the physics of light. So, man, just kind of rambling about this R2 trigger. It's been a long time since a piece of equipment has actually just come into my bag and worked without me thinking about it, or just having to sit down and have multiple days or multiple weeks of figuring out exactly where it belongs. Does it belong? This thing just fell right into place, and I wouldn't think twice about getting a second one. Maybe next Black Friday or next Cyber Monday or next Prime Day. Who knows? Anyway, just thought I'd jump on here, share my thoughts about it. I hope you guys are having an awesome, awesome beginning of winter season. Looking forward to shooting and bringing a lot more content to you guys in 2025. Getting on the road again and traveling. Just finished our November edition of the cosplay magazine that I put out. Cosplay edition of Huff Photo Presents is now out at huffphoto.magcloud.com. Link will be down in the description. So, yeah, if you guys want to check that out, if cosplay is your thing, we appreciate it. And I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next one.